This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. I just got back from an awesome event in downtown Vancouver with keynote speaker Professor Jordan Peterson. This event was put on by the Students for Liberty and they did a really great job. Now I went down there with the intentions of interviewing Dr. Peterson. We've been trying to set this up for a while now, and he told me when we got there, he said, yeah, we can certainly do this. Come talk to me during one of the breaks and we'll make it happen. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, a lot of people wanted to meet Professor Peterson, so every one of these breaks he was surrounded by about 100 people forming a circle around him, wanting their picture with him, his autograph, or just to meet the man and talk to him and shake his hand. So he kind of pulled me aside and said, obviously I don't know if this is going to work during the breaks. Come talk to me after the panel discussion and we'll make sure we get the interview. So, long story short, after the panel discussion, he had already given an hour-and-a-half long talk. He had already done about an hour or 2 hour long panel discussion. He had been engaging with fans for the last 6 hours. So needless to say, he was rather mentally exhausted at the end of the day, but he still granted me the interview. He said, let's keep it to 5 minutes. I'm pretty tired. So I said, you know what? With Professor Peterson, even if it's just 5 minutes, I'll take it. So without further ado, here is Professor Jordan Peterson's views on the collectivist mindset. This is Dan Dix here, reporting for Press for Truth, and we are here in Vancouver with the one and only Jordan Peterson. Sir, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us. Now, I've been thinking a lot about what I've wanted to ask you about. There's so many topics I've been trying to narrow it down to, so many different things I'd love to talk to you about, but I want to get your views right now on, it seems that a lot of the millennials of today seem to be of a collectivist mindset, and as opposed to like an individualist mindset, or this is my understanding, or how I'm perceiving it anyways. Is this a result, why do you think this is, or is this a result of postmodernism?
Well, I don't think that they've been exposed to good counter-arguments. You know, I think that they've been And the collectivist view is a pretty easy one to adopt if you're fundamentally motivated, let's say, at least initially, by compassion. It's harder to make a case for the individual viewpoint, and it's also complicated by the fact that the individualist viewpoint actually means that you have to take on a tremendous amount of personal responsibility. But I think mostly it's just a matter of not having been exposed to the proper arguments, not being educated deeply. So that's what it looks like to me.
You mentioned you've never really received any hate mail. Do you think maybe that's because these individuals would then have to deal with you one-on-one, or they wouldn't be no longer a collective, right?
Well, I think that might be part of it, but I know that other people receive plenty of hate mail, so I don't really know how to understand it. I'm glad that it's that way, and I feel fortunate, and it's a strange phenomenon, but I can't really explain it.
You've been given a lot of biblical lectures, Bible series, and stuff like that, and I've taken from the story in the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
In my interpretation of that was that it warns against the dangers of collectivism, and
I think it warns against the danger of utopian collectivism, and the attempt to replace, and the attempt to, or what, the arrogance to presume that utopia can be brought into being by collective organization. Right. I think there's a real danger in that, and the danger in the Tower of Babel story is the danger of, or even the inevitability of, fragmentation. Right. And I think that's happening in the left already. That's what intersectionality is, essentially. It's part of the fragmentation of the left. Right.
So how do we get the left or these collectivist-minded people to understand that the individual is subservient to the group, that they should be able to operate separate from the group? I mean, how do we wake these people up to the fact that they're stuck in this collectivist port?
Well, I mean, I think that's partly what I'm trying to do, for example, with the biblical lectures, to make a case for the historical, the historicity of the idea of the rise of the individual. I think it's a matter of proper philosophical education and maybe a call to adventure or something like that. So,
is there perhaps a hierarchical hero people should be looking up to? I mean, that's what the Bible, I believe, preaches. Or is that something that you would...
Well, I think people look up to heroes in a hierarchical manner whether they notice or not. They wouldn't be attending movies, for example, if that wasn't the case. I think what it's necessary to do is that people notice that and understand that they wouldn't be interested in the phenomena of individual heroism. They wouldn't be attracted to it unless there was something to it.
Right. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I can see you're needed here. So
All right.
thank you very much.
You bet. Nice to talk.